Hi, I'm Clarissa Williams, host of Cookeville Now, Highlands Insider, the area's conservative voice, and I am here today with Chairman of the Tennessee Republican Committee. I am very happy to see you here. You're basically all over the state of Tennessee.
All 95 counties, from Mountain City to Memphis to Tiptonville to Copper Hill. So that's the way we like to say it.
Well, we wanted to talk with you since you were here in the Upper Cumberland today. We wanted to have the opportunity to speak with you. And I know that you've been serving as the Tennessee GOP chair since 2016, former RNC staffer and longtime party organizer, known for building strong Republican turnout operations, which I loved what you said about Tennessee earlier. I did not realize we have such few Democrats in leadership in the state. And
there's
wiping the slate.
Well, there's a caveat there, right? So we do have a lot of people that are very few Democrats. Because a lot of them can't run as a Democrat because the national brand, as you've seen recently, is as terrible as it's ever been. So, but we do have a lot of independents. So we do have a lot of people that will put themselves and say, well, I'm for the people. And
Common sense.
I'm not going to, we would argue that, that if you're not willing to say what your fundamental beliefs are, that ought to tell you something as a candidate. So what we've been really trying to do is a program that we launched over a decade ago with the Tennessee Republican Party. It's called Red to the Roots, where we actively go out and get candidates to run at the local level as Republicans. Putnam County's done a great job. Cumberland County's done a great job. But, even that Cumberland County this year, for the first time, will be running partisan county commission races.
Oh, wow.
They've never done that before.
I didn't realize
we talked
that.
about Jackson County tonight.
Yes.
They've never done that before. So there are other places that, for all the effort, we're still just winning those races. One of the things that I guess I'm probably one of the most proud things that we've done is, with the help of the General Assembly, and it was, really those guys get the credit for passing it, although we supported them as much as we could, but we've turned school board races partisan. So for the first time, and you remember what we saw when President Biden was there and what they were doing to the parents
It was terrible.
at school board meetings, and FBI chasing people that can complain at school board meetings. Well, I heard it throughout the state traveling across about how bad our school systems were. And I said, well, there's an easy way to fix it. You can elect Republicans to your school board. Those Republicans can appoint a superintendent. If you got problems, that's where you start to fix it. And this will be now the second cycle of this year's school board, because school boards are elected 50% one year, 50% the next year. And so we're now, still winning school board races that have never had a Republican in them before.
Well, I think there's a lot that Tennessee has on its plate coming up. We've got a governor, we've got U.S. senators, it's going to be very busy. And I have already seen, I thought we would have a couple months before it started to heat up. But we, at least here in the Upper Cumberland, we are seeing a lot of things. I'm also seeing a lot of rhinos coming to meetings. And I just put, for those who haven't read it, I put how to spot a rhino out in this week's column.
Okay.
Someone asked me earlier, well, how do you spot them? And I said, read my article. So
well, that's it. I haven't read it, so I'm going to have to take a look at it.
I do think that keeping those conservative principles is essential. I was just studying the guiding principles on the Tennessee GOP site. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of things on there that people just don't really pay attention to. And there's little things people can get upset about. But if we really want to keep Tennessee conservative, there's a lot of people moving here. And I hear people say, I don't want to have California move here, and I don't want this. And I'm okay if they move here because they escape, but I'm not okay if they move here and they want to change Tennessee to what they moved from.
So the data that we see is that if they're fleeing these blue states, they're generally pretty good Republicans.
That's good.
Now, what we see on the opposite side is if their company drags them here, right? So in other words, the blue states have destroyed their company's ability to make money, regulation,
and
taxes,
why would
everything else.
Want to be in those states?
Exactly. So they move down here and they take their employees with them. Well, their employees show up and they say, well, we don't do this in New York and we don't do this in California. And, oh, you guys need to think about doing this. And if you just raise taxes a little bit more, and then you could have, a library that's open open 24 hours a day. And, you should pay a little more taxes for those great services. So when we see people that move here on our own, chances are they're pretty good Republicans. It's when they're moving here with their company moves here, because they're not the one that understands why they're moving. They're just angry that they're moving from a blue state because somebody else has the responsibilities. But yeah, we're very happy with that. We passed a platform last year at the convention. I was on the platform committee for the state of Tennessee, and so we passed President Trump's platform. A lot of great stuff that was in the big beautiful bill really originated in that platform. And then when we got back our board with the Tennessee Republican Party, we felt like there were some things that were kind of specific to us, so maybe some more conservative ideals that maybe go beyond what a national platform is, that were kind of spoke to those of us in Tennessee. And so we appointed a committee and got to work and sort of added some guiding principles that may be a little more conservative than what the national platform was, but that was what the feeling was to kind of make sure that everybody in Tennessee knew where our core values were.
I love all of them. I think that they are essential. And I think that for people who are moving here, if you're watching this and you're a transplant and you don't like being transplanted here, you will learn to love it. You will find so much more freedom, so much more just a quality of life. But I think being in Tennessee, there's a lot of things we need to fight for. Coming up, we have our governor's race.
We do.
And I know you kind of have a unique seat because you have to make sure you're out there for everyone and taking turns with everybody. So what do you think is the most important thing that can carry through all of the things that we hold true in the state of Tennessee and a governor?
Well, I mean, so obviously the Republican primary, as we were talking tonight, is 366 days away. So we're 1 year shy of it being a year. So the vote's going to take place next year. I'm not sure who all the candidates are going to be. I'm not sure that matters. What I care most about is that they're out there talking to the people of Tennessee.
Absolutely.
And if they're out there talking to the people of Tennessee, I think they're going to figure out what this state needs. And there's, we've had a really good run of governors. So first of all, currently Governor Bill Lee is the first governor in history to be a Republican that succeeded a Republican. We haven't had that since 1864, right? So this will be the first time ever that we hope. Yes, we would love to have a Republican. So we haven't had that. And so, that's uncharted territory. And so, but you do have 16 years of Republicans that have preceded you. And so, but I think as long as the candidates are out there and they're talking to people, making sure they're going up and down I-40, I-24, I-75, if they're out there spending time with grassroots people, they're going to have an understanding of which way this state's going to go. And if you talk to enough people and you care about what they have to say, your platform's going to be pretty good for making sure you keep Tennessee moving in a great direction.
Well, of course, we know we have one disclosed candidate, John Rose, from this area.
Yep.
We also have his seat coming up.
Correct.
So we've got a lot of things to think about here in the Upper Cumberland. We have a lot of candidates that have thrown their hats in the ring in various capacities, but we also have our local elections.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about how important it is being involved in the local level and how that impacts everyone?
To me, it's the most critical thing in the world. I tell people all the time, your county commission can get into your wallet quicker than any legislative body out there.
Absolutely.
Congress, the state legislature, it takes forever. Your local government, and these are the guys, of course, that you see at Walmart and at the gas station and Pizza Hut and whatever it is, these are the guys you interact with. These are the ones you see. So, I mean, to me, it is actually the most critical, and it's counterintuitive, right? Because when we elect a president, we spend billions of dollars electing a president. Well, we don't spend hardly anything for county commission or school board or trustee or county clerk and all of these little things that county mayor, sheriff that kind of make sure our counties go. And as we were talking at the meeting about those of us that live in West Tennessee that just went through this experience with the escape, the manhunt, and everything. Well, these were sheriffs. These were our neighbors that were out combing the woods. Lives on the line. They're hiring the deputies. these are the people that in the darkest of times, these are your people that you're counting on to do it. So I tell everybody, if that's where you need to get involved, and here's the thing, because we spend so much less time focusing on them, because we spend so much less money on them, they will take any help that they can get. If you knock on a guy running for county commissioner's door and said, I'm going to help you, that person will remember you in your will, because they don't get that kind of help. So I encourage everybody to get involved, go find a great candidate and be for 'em.
We are actually getting ready to start running in our publication, Meet Your Candidates, or Meet Your Neighbors, and we are going to focus on every commission district, because we think there are a lot of people who don't understand how government works.
Absolutely.
They don't understand how their tax dollars are at play and how we get from Plan A to Plan Z.
Yeah.
But I think we've got lots of people that are running for office, that we've got some important things. We've got 2 years for President Trump to get through all of the things he's working on.
Yeah, so that's obviously for us, that's the next step, midterms. And honestly, from a Tennessee perspective, I know we're talking about Congressman Rose leaving and an open seat here, but we had Congressman Mark Green step away from Congress a couple weeks ago. Well, that race is just beginning. It's August 12th is the filing deadline. The Republican primary, Democrat primary will be October 7th, and then the general election will be on December 2nd, which is the Tuesday following Thanksgiving. So you think it's difficult to be excited about politics? Make it 2 days after, 3 days after Black Friday, right?
Let's say if you don't vote and you let somebody else get in, it won't be black in Tennessee anymore. You won't enjoy Black Friday much longer.
You're going to have to, absolutely. I mean, so that has kicked off this cycle, and honestly, it will be a nationwide race, because we're the only one that, we've had two Republican seats that were that President Trump tapped to go to his administration down in Florida. And so this is our next Republican seat, and there is no other game in town. So after Virginia's done and New Jersey's done, which will be in November, then it's this Tennessee race. And special elections are tough. They're really tough after Thanksgiving. You don't know what the mood of the country is. We're going to have to work really hard, but giving Trump a chance at full, we saw what happened when we lost Congress last time. He was impeached, I think, every other week. So this is what we on the Republican side are really working very diligently to make sure that we keep the House and the Senate.
Well, I know Tennessee has good, strong fiscal responsibility, different things that keep us in the black rather than in the red. We hope that we can continue that. Is there anything that we didn't talk about today that you feel is really important that our audience should be aware of?
Well, again, I think you hit on it. I'm excited about the Republican Party. We got local elections coming up. The local candidates will start taking their petitions in December. So we're, 90 days, 100 days away. And you're going to start seeing people that are interested in helping their communities and run. I would encourage everybody to make it out to a Republican Party organization. Would love to have new people show up. I know it's always tense when, you're walking into a room and you don't know everybody. I was there when it happened to me. I was a young guy and showed up, and everybody kind of, gives you the look. But I will assure you that people love it. Leadership loves it when new people are getting involved, and they want to help people get involved. And this is the time to do it, because we will. Candidates for local office will be grabbing their petitions in December. Those elections will be in May, and then we'll move to August for the state and federal primaries, and then the general election for our county guys, and we're straight into November. So, I mean, I know everybody kind of feels, if, like me, it's like, well, gosh, we just got President Trump elected. Feels like we just got we've been winning ever since for the last 6 months since the inauguration. It doesn't feel like it's time to start politicking again, but it really is. And I would encourage everybody, if they've ever had an opportunity, I would just say, even for the good of just acknowledgement of knowing who your county commissioners are and who your mayor and who your sheriff. These guys are all approachable. They're all, understand that process. Not only will they become better elected officials, you would become a better constituent. So that's what I would encourage everybody. Make 2025 a year to get involved, 2026 a year to get involved, and you will help the keep Tennessee moving in the right direction.
Well, before we close out today, I wanted to give you the opportunity to share about the Statesman Dinner.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
Yeah.
So that should be a great event. When is that event?
So it is Saturday, August 23rd. So we have an annual fundraiser, right, for the Tennessee Republican Party. A lot of counties do Lincoln, Reagan Day, Trump Day dinners now, but we've done the Statesman's Dinner. So this is the 48th annual. So nearly a half a century of doing this. And this year's edition will be at Opryland. It's on Saturday, August 23rd. Speaker Mike Johnson has agreed to come. Almost every elected official in the state's going to be there. It is a one-stop. If you're a political junkie, show up because it really is. Everybody's there. And
you still have tickets for sale?
We do. If you go to our website, tngop.org, as in TN, the state of our initials, GOP, Grand Old Party.org. You'll see they have the announcement video. It's called The Golden Age of Tennessee is what we've named the event this year. So it's great. This is, when we're talking about it, really, it's a labor of love for all of us because we work on it all year long. And what it does is it highlights where we're going as a party and highlights a lot of the history of where we came from, how we were able to get to where we are. Like I said, you'll see all the elected officials there. This is a wonderful opportunity just to grab somebody's hand. If you go once, you will go for the rest of your life. So my job is just to expose people for it because if you love politics at all, this is where you're going to want to be.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We enjoyed having you here. We'll invite you back anytime you want to come to the studio.
You let me know. I love it. I love the Upper Cumberland. What a special region of this state. It really is. The community up here. I've been up here many times, but I'm always struck with the comradeship, the community, the camaraderie that everybody helps each other. The same way during the tornadoes, and everything. So it's just a wonderful. It's a great part of the state.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you the next time. And if you are just tuning in, welcome. And remember, be a light, be bold, and be bright. And we will see you the next time. Thanks for joining.
Introducing Highlands Insider, a locally owned conservative newspaper, both in print and online, serving the Highlands and Upper Cumberland region, including Putnam, White, Overton, and Jackson County, with more to come. Founded to fill the gap left by liberal-leaning coverage, we deliver uncompromised news, video, and community engagement. Subscribe now and use code HI49 to save $20 on a print and online subscription for limited time.
Join us every week as we introduce our neighbors, businesses, and inspiring stories.
People, businesses, and places that make the Upper Cumberland what it is today.
As we tell all about the past, present, and even the future outlook.
Like, comment, and subscribe so you do not miss an episode.